involved with Stand Up to Cancer, to remind each and every individual that's suffering that there is a community.
Yeah, you're so right.
So how's it feel now?
That, of course, is Bradley Cooper making an emotional announcement that he will be uniting celebrities for a good cause again this year. The Stand Up to Cancer telecast has led to the FDA approval of 5 new cancer treatments, and it's raised millions of dollars all since 2008. We do have a local oncologist. This is Dr. Gerald Falchuk. He's here to tell us more about why this cause is so important. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me here today.
Now, you have a tough job. I mean, I know it's very rewarding. We're trying to find a cure for cancer, but you've also had to deliver some terrible, tragic news to a lot of people. Everybody in some shape or form has been affected by cancer.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's correct. Cancer is very common in this country, in Colorado, and across the United States. The most common cancers are cancers of the breast, prostate, lung, and colon. These 4 cancers account for almost half of all cancers in this country, and unfortunately, cancer remains the leading cause of death in Colorado.
As far as Colorado goes, are the same cancers the most prevalent?
Yes, that's correct.
So where are we at right now? I know research in early detection is key here to finding a cure. You know, we were talking earlier in the break, there is already a cure for some cancers.
That's right. Some cancers are easier to treat than others. In general, when we find a cancer at an early stage before it's spread to other parts of the body, these are cancers that are potentially curable. This is why it's so important that all of us see our primary care physicians on a regular basis. A cancer that's found at an early stage is potentially curable.
Well, you don't know what you don't know. So what is your advice then? I mean, cancer can present itself to completely normal, healthy people. So what is your advice, you know, as an oncologist?
That's right. There are some cancers we can screen for at an early stage and they get diagnosed at an early stage. I think of cancers like breast cancer that we can find with mammograms, or colon cancer with our colonoscopies. On the other hand, there are some cancers that we get found, they diagnosed at a later stage that are very difficult to treat. Cancers like pancreatic cancer and lung cancer that are usually very difficult to treat and not curable.
Well, let's go back and talk about the most common types of cancer. You see it on your screen there: breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer. How many of us are at risk for these top cancers here?
Well, there are lots of risk factors for cancer. Some of them are preventable. For example, tobacco and smoking can cause cancers of the lung, mouth, throat, bladder, and other cancers in other organs. Another example is excessive exposure to the sun without protection can cause skin cancer. So there are things that we can do. Other major risk factors for cancer include our diet, activity, alcohol use.
Well, Dr. Falchuk, last question before we wrap things up. If you are in an unfortunate circumstance where you are presented with a diagnosis and you have treatment options, how do you know what's best for you and your family?
It's difficult to know. There's a lot of information for patients on the internet, but it can be overwhelming. The best first person to speak with is the patient's oncologist, who can give advice on what treatment would be the best strategy, whether a clinical trial would be right for that patient. But at the end of the day, I think the right person to start with is their oncologist.
And do you believe we should get a second opinion as well?
It's always a good idea to get a second opinion if you're not certain about what you should do, or especially for a rare cancer where the treatments are not so straightforward.
Great advice in creating awareness. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. All right, 7:47 right now. You can, of course, watch that Stand Up to Cancer live telecast event. That is tonight at 7 o'clock right here on Fox 31. Let's get over to meteorologist Greg Dutcher.
Lots of good stuff between that on Fox and the game this weekend.